Morning. Welcome to the 8th Spirituality and Leadership Workshop. In this workshop, we will experience the 8th dimension of our spirituality, the transformational dimension, a driver of leadership. In this workshop, we cannot do our experiential learning exercises, but we can listen to the advice of many who have experienced the transforming power of spirituality. K.S. Weichmann, perhaps the most prestigious researcher on spirituality, states that spirituality transforms us. Spirituality creates, recreates, reforms, enlightens, generates love, union. Spirituality is part of people's lives as a silent force, an inspiration and orientation. A person has a relationship with a transcendent being, a higher being or deity. That relationship drives a process of transformation. For Pargamen, spirituality fosters a process of transformation that involves 3 steps. Discovery. As children or adults, people discover something sacred, which becomes a central organizing force for their lives. Conservation. People strive to maintain a relationship with the sacred. Transformation. Change is often necessary on the way to a better reality. For Tisdale, spirituality transforms entire lives. Through it, a person can find his or her true self, build a morality based on love and compassion, free himself or herself from the false self, and love others, and integrate into humanity and creation, developing wisdom and sensitivity. For Jones, meditation, religious contemplation leads us to a path of transformation. The ability to feel admiration and love for creation, the love to love the other, to have happiness and peace, the ability to be in touch with our limitations, with humility and honesty, non-attachment, the learning that difficulties provide. For Hindu spirituality, spiritual transformation, a process of contemplative healing, is the result of experiencing a deeper level of consciousness, which helps people to connect with reality, leads us to discover our true self and our true identity, to fight against the ignorance of not admitting that an absolute is the source of all being and becoming. For Buddhist spirituality, meditation and detachment are ways to a happy life. Taoist meditation pays special attention to the universal elements, air, water, earth, and fire, leading to a peaceful meditation in connection with the universe, leading to harmony, integration, cooperation, and peace. Islamic spirituality seeks a personal experience with God, a deeper knowledge, love in His presence, purifying hearts from worldly attachments, abandoning personal will, trusting completely in God. In numerous places, the Bible leads to personal and social transformation. The Sermon on the Mount is transformative. The Beatitudes express how spirituality, love, compassion, humility, meekness, gentleness, cleanness of heart, peacemaking, the pursuit of justice, they all lead to happiness. Genesis shows how God formed man and breathed into his face the breath of life, the creative Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit recreates, as the passage in Ezekiel says, where God gives life to dry bones. Anthony Thistleton explains how the Holy Spirit was present at creation, giving life and continued to give life. Mauricio de Sanctis presents the symbol of water to express how the Spirit gives life. There are multiple other passages in the Bible that refer to the Holy Spirit as transformer, healer, cleanser, fills our hearts, set us free, gives us power, energy, and strength. Saint Anthony chose to live in the desert to carry out his spiritual transformation. His friends began to break down and tear off the door by force. Anthony, as if from a sanctuary, came out initiated into the mysteries and filled with the Spirit of God. According to John Cation, for our transformation we need constant prayer, the prayer of the heart, inspired by the scriptures, the Psalms, which allows us to reach the presence of God and gain purity of heart, virtues, love, and a foretaste of heaven. For St. Gregory, continuous prayer and conversion is key to transformation. We need a continuous conversion, a constant struggle, in a movement from exteriority to interiority, from the false values of the world to God, to joy and peace, a process in which we transform suffering into growth. Continuous conversion requires a desire to change our heart, in which the Spirit of God takes hold of us, fills us with charity. For St. Bernard, a contemplative lifestyle leads us to a process of transformation towards perfection based on love, which restores the image of God in us. For St. Francis, the key to transformation is to seek and embrace poverty as a profound spiritual journey. Francis' transformation followed a dream in which Francis pledged his fidelity to a lady so noble, so rich, so swift, and so wise, the Lady Poverty. After which, in the words of St. Francis, I felt impelled by the Lord to go to the lepers and to care for them mercifully. When I left them, what seemed bitter to me was changed into sweetness of spirit and body. St. John of the Cross presents a process of spiritual transformation in which the person is born anew in his soul, in his affective life, in his conscience, and in his spiritual receptivity. This transformation is a transition from the senses to the spirit, to be receptive to the revelation of God, to contemplate Him, and to strengthen our life towards union with God. John Main explains how the mantra is like the needle of a compass, always in the right direction. We cannot meditate every day and continue with a policy of deception, of self-interest, of revenge. As our moral integrity begins to develop, our actions will begin to change. It is our spiritual life that transforms the world. And so we enter the second part of this workshop, our transforming power, driver of a leadership culture. Our ability to transform inspires our vision of the future, the engine of our leadership. It inspires, strengthens, and energizes our mission. It builds relationship with other transformational leaders and those who need our transformational capacity. It facilitates and illuminates our decision-making, drives social actions. The transformational dimension of our spirituality maximizes the intellectual capital of nations and organizations. Transforming power of our spirituality is an extraordinary engine of human capital, creating knowledge. Creates social capital, working together to transform society. Builds renewal capital, innovation based on our transforming power. It builds process capital, continuous improvement based on our power of transformation. The transforming dimension of our spirituality changes society, renews it, promotes the common good, integrates and harmonizes society, builds a leadership culture far superior to individualistic and collectivist cultures. This concludes our workshop. This workshop helped us to do something extraordinary, to try to make visible an invisible reality. Spirituality creates the power to transform people and communities. Spirituality builds the power to create, to recreate, to perfect, to reform, to purify, to enlighten. Spirituality builds the power to develop virtues, unite, integrate, love, cooperate, simplify, liberate. Spirituality builds the power to give life, to empower, to energize, to strengthen, to discover, to develop. Spirituality is extraordinary. It is transformational. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. I invite you to visit my website, where you can download for free some books that I wrote, which contain the research material that give foundation to these workshops. You may be interested to go to the sources, to more than 500 thinkers who reflected on these issues. You can also find videos summarizing these books.